Hey guys, back with another video. Today I thought I would just give an update about what I've been reading. I finished Don DeLillo's Libra, and I kind of got a bit lost about what I was going to read next because my shelf of to be read is huge and I got a bit confused. And then the day after I finished Don DeLillo's Libra, a book I had ordered came in the mail, and it is Communion by Whitley Strieber, and it's a first edition hardcover, which I'm very happy about. I wrapped it up in my little Mylar plastic, like I always do for my rare books. This book I've wanted to read for a very long time. The cover's really cool, obviously. I love the font of the spine. I think it's really nice design. I don't know if it picks it up on camera, but it's not black. It's like kind of like a very browny kind of green, and it's not white. It's actually a kind of cream color. It's a very nice design. I think it's gonna look really nice on the shelf. And the fact that it's a first edition hardcover is it's one of my favorite, editions of a book is a first edition hardcover. So I was really excited to get this, and then I thought I'd just start reading it. And so I'm about halfway through. I'll probably finish it hopefully by the end of the week, because I have a lot of other projects I need to be working on and reading. But so far I'm really enjoying it. It's actually quite scary. I don't know if any of you guys really believe in aliens or visitors or extraterrestrials visiting Earth, or they don't visit Earth and they're just in space. I don't know what you believe, but for me, I know in my heart and from what I've read that they are real and they have come to Earth. I know I probably sound a bit crazy, but I've read a lot of books about this kind of stuff, and the evidence is so overwhelming. This book is very terrifying after having read all these other books. This is just a guy's first-hand experience of being not really abducted, but being visited by. So the stories the experiences he paints in this is really terrifying. I've never really read a first person perspective on someone who has, interacted with a visitor, and it is a hell of a read. Really hell of a read so far. It's really captivating. Whitley Strieber is he has a really nice way of describing his life and, his day-to-day. Like, he can really just captivate you in. It feels like he's just having a chat with you, and he's telling you about December 1986. But this follows Whitley Strieber, who had a few visitations happen to him, and a lot of it is told from transcripts of when he went through hypnotherapy to kind of regress these memories that he had, because he knew something had happened to him, that was so much trauma that he went through, he couldn't articulate them, so he had to be hypnotized. And he was hypnotized with someone who wasn't a believer of extraterrestrials or visitors, and had someone else in the room. He also fact checks a lot of the events that happened to him, with other reported sightings that were around at the time, and also people that were unbiased, that were staying with him, that had no knowledge that this was happening to him. And he asked their opinion of what happened that night that you stayed over. Did anything happen to you? And they'll be like, yeah, there was a really big blue light. It came from outside. I thought just one of the globes had blown on a car. And then he would tell them, oh, okay, this is what's been happening to me. So the stories he tells in this are really quite terrifying. I've never really been so kind of, irked under my skin before by a book, reading a lot of true crime. I read In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, and it's pretty grueling book to get through, but it never really got under my skin. I didn't really feel like, oh, I need to lock the doors kind of thing. But Communion has really done that for me. It's kind of made me a bit unnerved a bit. So I believe there's a film that was made of this, so I think after I finish the book I might just download the film and watch it. But if you're into kind of alien stuff and you don't want just pure facts and scientific reports and, you know, UFO file stuff. You just want someone's first-hand experience who isn't a ufologist. This is a really, really good book. And it was mass marketed on paperback, so you can get a copy really, really easily. You don't have to have a nice fancy one like I do. Other than that, I'm drinking out of my little favorite Garfield birthday mug. I haven't really had any other books come in. I did, I don't know if I showed it last time, but I picked up a copy of Inherent Vice by Thomas Pynchon. I've read this before, I read it last year, but I think it was $5 from Savers, so I didn't have a copy of it, so I thought I'd buy it. Other than that, there is a read-along happening with a few other channels that I'm friends with, that they're reading The Three Musketeers, and I'm halfway in through the door with that. It's a very big book, and it's hard for me to really enjoy a book if I feel like I'm forced to read it. But I'm not forced to read it, of course. It's more of I have to enjoy the book to want to keep reading it. And so I haven't started reading it yet. I'm going to start reading it maybe on the weekend, and I'm going to read, I think, between 50 and 100 pages, and if I don't like it in those 50 or 100 pages, I'm not going to force myself to push through it, because I just won't have a good experience, and I'll resent the thing, and I won't want to do any more in the future. So, you know, that's how I normally am with books, is I give it a shot for a little bit, and then if I'm not into it, I won't keep reading it. But that being said, I have thought about the next kind of book club book, and I'm not going to start it until I've got a lot on, so it probably won't be till mid-May that I start it. And I'm thinking there's two options in my mind of what I'd like to do. And this, of course, is completely optional. No one has to read along with me. It's just a book that I'm not going to be reading as a solo book. It'll be reading as like a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there, and then make maybe an update video of where I'm at in the book and things I've liked and stuff that's happened in the book. So there is no obligation to do a read along with me, but it is an open thing of, hey, I'm going to be reading this, and I'm probably going to spoil it bit by bit every time I make a video. And if you want to watch the video and comment and, you know, chat about the book, then, you know, you can read along. It's a completely open thing. There is no time limits on the things. Like with my last one, it's kind of, I think we're going to start here, and then if we're finished by this much time, cool. And I've thought a lot about what book it was going to be, and I'm kind of torn again between On the Road and a different book that I've wanted to read, which is, this book is absolutely huge and it is extremely daunting, but I have read a lot by this author already, and you ever just get that feeling that you know something is going to be monumental to you, like it's going to be such a life-changing book, or it's going to be such a, you know, oh, this book was incredible, and you know it is, but you've just been putting it off because you're like, it's not the right time for me to have this. And I think I'm just going to do it. And so I think this is going to be the book club book that I'm going to choose. And I don't think everybody is going to be on the same boat with me with this one. And I don't think anyone else is going to read along with me. But in case you did want to read along with me and have a chat about this book, because this book is made to be talked about with everybody because it is so monumental, get yourself a copy of Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Now, my partner has read this, and I have read about this much of it in the past. Oh, actually, no, maybe a bit more. I think I got about here. I read about that much of it, and I got to this point, and I was like, this book is so incredible that I can't read this right now because I'm not in the right space in my life to start reading this. So, I think it's now or never. I need to just get into it. I need to read it. And I've read other books by him. I've read a lot of his short stories. I've read his essays. And I know he's kind of seen as a red flag author for guys love David Foster Wallace. And it's, you know, a red flag if, oh, he reads David Foster Wallace, or it's a performative reader thing. I don't care. This book is so good, even just from the first 250 pages that I've read. In the past, I've read 250 pages like twice because I stop, start. I think this book is just such a incredible book. And I think it's going to be an incredible book. And knowing what the book is about and the messages that it gives about kind of addiction to entertainment and the need to constantly be entertained, and how boredom is kind of being a thing of the past. I think that this book is more relevant now than ever, and I think that it's time for me to finally, you know, be a red flag dude and say that I have read Infinite Jest. And so I'm going to start reading this. Obviously, this book is huge. You know, this copy that I've got is 1,100 pages. And I know that it's huge. And I'm not expecting anyone to read along. I'm just letting you guys know. But this is going to take a long time to read. So I'm not going to put a finish date on this. If you read along with me, I'm going to start probably next week after I finish communion. And I'm just going to go bit by bit. I'll probably read 50 pages a week, you know, and I'll try and make an update video maybe once a fortnight. And there is no end date on this book club book because it is so huge. So I'm going to put videos up part by part of Infinite Jest, and I'll put the page numbers of, okay, pages 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, so that if you're not up to that part, you don't have to watch that video and get spoiled. But this is the new book that I'm going to be reading, and it's an open call for everyone else to read it if you want to. Absolutely understandable if you're not going to partake into it. To be honest, I don't mind. If I'm probably happier for you if you don't partake in it, because it is such a huge book. But it is such an important book, I think. And I think, especially now, I've seen a lot of discourse about this book online, about how David Foster Wallace has now overtaken the point in history where he's not this, you know, he's not, how do I say, there was a period in time where he was seen as like, he could be the next greatest writer, you know, from 2010 to 2019. It was talked about like, he's too young to be a classic. But now I think time has passed. This book has just hit its 30th anniversary, I'm pretty sure. I think now he's revered and people are starting to come around to him being an actual classic writer, a modern day classic writer. Rest in peace, David Foster Wallace. If you want a teaser if you should read this book or not, there is a movie based on there was an interviewer that followed him around on the book tour for this, and he wrote his own book. I think it's by David Lipsky, and then a movie was made about that tour that they went on together, and I think it's called End of the Road. I'll put a link in the description of what the film's actually called. And if you want a teaser of if you should read this book or not, and if you're gonna like it, you should watch the movie and just see if the character of David Foster Wallace is appealing to you or not. So, yes, this is going to be really fun. I'm really excited. A lot of what the book talks about is something that I really, have always felt about how entertainment has dominated too many people's lives, and how people feel the need to constantly fill their lives with something going on of TV or, phones and internet and whatnot, and how boredom is becoming non-existent anymore, and how boredom is actually some of the most important things you can have. Being bored is a privilege. And I think that as a society, and we get older as a society, I think that people have an expectation of entertainment and pleasure 24/7 in their lives, and sometimes you don't have to enjoy everything. And I think television and phones and the internet have really exacerbated that a lot, and this book is about that a lot. It's a fiction book, and it's a classic already. So I've harped on a lot about this. I'm not going to say anymore. Another thing unrelated to books is I finally tracked down some cassettes for my cassette recorder. So I'm going to make some music again, which I'm very excited about. I used to use digital to record music, but I don't enjoy the sound of it. So I found an old 8-track cassette recorder, and I'm going to start recording music again. I'll probably upload some, or maybe use them as background music. I think that's about it. I haven't got anything else. I haven't received any new books. I have bought some books that I'm waiting for in the mail, and when they come, I think I'll make a video about it. But yeah, that was all I really wanted to talk about today. Yeah, I think I've talked about every book on the shelf so far. Yeah, just wanted to update you guys about Communion by Whitley Strieber in Infinite Jest. So I hope you guys have a really good week. If you have any questions or if you want to talk about anything, leave a comment. I think I'm currently at 91 subscribers, which is unbelievable. It shocks me to see that number every time. Very close to the 100 and very close to opening what I know is Zodiac in here, which is a Grail book which I've had forever. Yes, I did rip a little bit to make sure that I wasn't getting scammed because I paid a lot of money for this. So I had to make sure it was actually in here and not just a random, James Patterson novel. So I did double check it's in there, but I haven't opened it. So I'm very excited, and I've held my end of the bargain for buying this expensive thing. It sits on my shelf looking at me. And yeah, I think I'll probably try and make another video when I finish this, just a quick review of this. I'll write some notes on my typewriter about it when I finished it, and I'll see you guys in the comments. And if you're in the Discord group with all the other booktubers, I'll see you in there, and would love to hear everyone's thoughts. See you guys.